Hello, my Stampin' friends. It is Movie Monday. Another movie, another Monday. So what we're going to do today is this gorgeous card. This came from Dawn Griffith, who I am such a fangirl of Dawn Griffith. Like I see her on the incentive trip and I can't even speak to her. She's just amazing. So this was, I think, for her Achievers gathering, and I just fell in love. I love the die. I love the black and the lemon lime together. And then this is such a fun little opening because this little butterfly wing is what creates the closure. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create this card today. And we're using the embossing paste. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have seen that or played with it yet, but it's pretty cool. And then these are the You Move Me die cuts with that beautiful little detailed butterfly there. The stamp set we're using is Ribbon of Courage, and this is one of our $1 Million Achievers, Patty Bennett's stamp set. So we're going to use the sentiment from there. So let's get going. I've got quite a mess here, so hang in there with me. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video than normal because I need to show you how to do things. So we're going to start with our score tool, and we've got our piece of paper, which is 10.5 by 5.5, 10.5 inch side up top. We're going to score at 2 3/4 and 7. I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay, we're going to fold these over. So we've got, there's a long side and there's a short side. This is how the card's going to open. So your shorter side is going to be here. So let me show you how to do that little butterfly closure, and then I can get the big shot out of the way. So we're going to take this die right here, and we're going to take a piece of washi tape. You could use masking tape, but I found the adhesive is a little strong. Even though it is masking tape, it was peeling my card off, or peeling the card stock, so I didn't like that. You want to lay this die on the edge. There's a little antenna where it just starts to kind of make a little rounded area there. You don't want the antenna to cut, just the wing. So I'm just going to lay that right on the side, and right where that piece of cardstock meets this panel right here, I want a piece of washi tape right along that edge. I need to scoot it down just a little bit more. So this is holding the cardstock and the die together. Okay, I'll bring that up just a little bit. So if you see where the edge of this cardstock is, that tape should run right at the edge. Then you're going to very carefully open that piece back, make sure that's stuck down, because this is how you want to run it through your big shot. Okay, hopefully you can see this. So we want this wing right here to cut. We do not want to make a cut with the rest of the butterfly at all. So if we carefully lay our cutting pad edge right along the edge of the washi tape and crank it through, it will only cut that butterfly wing. Did you hear where it kind of went ka-chunk? That's the end of the cutting. So when you pull that out, all right, hang tight. Gotta get myself some room. All right, everything's getting all cattywampus. We're a mess today. Okay, so now when I very carefully peel this butterfly off, only his wing will have cut. Okay, so see, there's just his wing in there. It's going to slide under and create your closure. What? Awesome! Okay, so now I'm going to take a piece of black cardstock. Now what I did with this, and I'll put the dimensions on, this one I went ahead and cut a 2-inch punch out of that one. It's the thrifty nature, right? I'm going to cover it up, so why not go ahead and use it for my punch so I don't have to cut more cardstock at all. That goes on that side panel there, and it's just a tiny little, like a 1/8 border on there. So let's stop that for a moment because I want to do our embossing paste. Well, now I just messed that up. I had it all nice and centered, and now. Okay, so embossing paste. This is new embossing paste. You can also, when you get the knives, you get the 3 palette knives to work with, and then the stencils you'll need, and they come in a pack. So we've got clouds, brick wall, and then the giant medallion plus this one. So we're going to work with this one. And what I did was just take a piece of scrap paper. I have the stencil laid over top, and I have it taped down with some washi tape. Just going to take a little bit of, you don't need a ton. Okay, it has started to dry some because I don't think my lid was on tight from class. So it actually does dry pretty quickly, and that's something you want to be careful with when you're working with the embossing paste, is you want to get the embossing paste off of here pretty quick because it does dry, and then you'll have to do a lot of scrubbing. It can be a little bit tricky when you're doing a class with a lot of people. You want to really make sure that you're wiping that off. What my upline Cindy, this weekend we were together, and she actually kept a little Rubbermaid container of water on her table, and so as soon as it was done, it went into the water, and then the water would start to dissolve it, so it didn't really dry and harden on there. So just kind of like icing a cake, you're just going to put this embossing paste. I'm going to do the whole thing, and just make sure that you're filling in all those holes. You don't have to fill in all the holes. That's cool too, but you can kind of make it random and just do what works for you. The other fun thing with the embossing paste is that you can color it. So if you took a little bit of the paste and pulled it out and did some re-inker, you would be able to have any color that you wanted. You can also add glitter to it while it's still drying. So now you'll take that and just scrape off any extra, can go right back in there. So see, you really don't need a ton. Scrape that extra. I want it down in there. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on quick because I really don't want it to start drying out. Scoot that out of the way, and then very carefully peel that off. All right, so how cool is that? Okay, let that dry. Like I said, oh my gosh, I'm getting like so much stuff everywhere. So let's continue on. I went ahead and used that same butterfly die cut, and I created 2 lemon lime butterflies, and then I also did 2 of the black outline butterflies. This one guy still has some little pieces stuck in. Get those out of there. Nope, still some up here too. I should have been a little bit more prepared, but I was trying to hurry because I do these videos in the morning, and we have sun today, and so I'm trying to beat the sun. Okay, so I wanted to show you, here's the other die. Okay, so you have that outline butterfly, and then there is the inside butterfly. All right, so I'm going to take our new little tiny dimensionals, and I'm going to put these on the solid part of my butterfly. I'm going to do 2 on each one at his head and 1 at his butt, and that will hold him onto that lemon lime piece. Okay, so now I'm going to come back with my card. Oh, there you are. There's the outline. He was stuck. I'm going to take, on this butterfly, I want to, first of all, make sure you've got it going the right way. Okay, so now I'm going to attach some mono adhesive, snail adhesive, and I'm just going to overlay it right over top of that wing that's partially cut. Then we will put a little black butterfly over top of that. Okay, then I'm going to hold off on this one because, well, I can do this part. I can go ahead and put this butterfly on, but my embossing paste is still drying, and I did not do one ahead of time. So we're going to keep on working here and hope that by the time I'm ready to go, it will definitely be dry. So now we have that guy ready to roll. And I took a piece of basic black for, I think this is 5.5 by 4, and that's where I cut my butterflies out of. So again, you know, the thrifty part of me is like, no one's going to see that, so I'm going to use that as my scrap paper. This is the inside of our card, which I'm betting is cut, yep, to the exact same side. I was not thinking on that one. Anyway, I can put that in a little bit later. Let's go ahead and lay this in as our centerpiece here. And then I'll cut that white one down and put that one in there in a bit. So now I'm going to take my stamp and some basic black, and all my scrap paper is a-missing. Really? I know I had some. Sorry about that. Sometimes I think things fall off my table. Okay, basic black, and I'm just going to stamp my sentiment on there. We're done with that, and I'm going to punch that out with a 1 3/4 circle punch. And that's going to go onto my 2-inch circle, black, punched out with a 2-inch circle. I'm going to do 2 dimensionals on the back of that and attach that to a 2 1/4 dazzling diamonds. I punched that out with a 2 1/4 circle punch. And I have my adhesive there. That's another one that needs to wait a couple moments because we've got our embossing paste, which is pretty dry. Really, literally does dry in a few minutes, and that is where the tricky part of cleaning your stencil comes in. Okay, so we've got that on there. There's our butterfly closure. We're going to put our sentiment on here, and then I'm just going to do another dimensional and put this butterfly on. So there he goes. And then finally, our last step always, right, especially if you're following a Dawn Griffith video, is bling. Always make sure you get your bling on there. Okay, so there is our absolutely gorgeous lemon lime, basic black, butterfly card. So thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week for Movie Monday.